beginning, there was darkness, and then, bang, giving birth to an endless expanding existence of time, space, and matter. Now see further than we've ever imagined, beyond the limits of our existence, in a place we call the universe. There may be other worlds out there.
Universes, budding off other universes.
Where there could be an exact copy of our solar system, our Earth, and each one of us.
Where everything's pretty much the same, or maybe everything's slightly different.
But where are these other universes? Why can't we see them?
Because we're in different dimensions.
Can this be true?
If there are extra dimensions of a certain size and shape, this experiment will find them.
The question isn't whether they exist, but whether there's 1, 2, 3, or 4 different kinds of them.
This sensationally means the universe sits in a sea of parallel universes. Imagine another world, a whole other universe with a solar system and a planet exactly like ours. On this parallel Earth, there lives an exact copy of you. You could be leading exactly the same life, but in another universe. Now, imagine an entirely separate universe where you could be living a slightly different life at the same time as you live this life. It may seem fantastic, incredible, and impossible, but there could be many other universes out there. And now, some of the world's leading physicists believe that they have evidence to prove it.
We are experiencing an existential shock. Our worldview has been shattered with the realization that, yes, there could be parallel universes.
I mean, it's just a mind-boggling idea that there may be essentially exact replicas of us out there in the vastness of space.
The idea of a parallel universe is part of our popular culture. People all around us think of it every day, but usually in terms of fiction. One of the really exciting things is that scientists today are trying to see whether parallel universes are a physical reality.
Amazing new discoveries about the true size of the universe seem to indicate that all that we see is not all that there is.
We humans have assumed, like ostriches with our heads in the sand, that just because we can't see something, it ain't there. When my grandma was a little girl, for instance, they still didn't know that there were other galaxies. Now we know that there are billions and billions of other galaxies out there.
Remarkably, there may be 4 types of parallel universe out there. One kind could exist in the same exact space we're in, but it is so far away we cannot see it or reach it. In another scenario, multiple other universes could be in giant cosmic soap bubbles, adrift in a cosmic sea of giant bubbles.
Revolutionary developments have changed the entire landscape. Data from outer space have given us a new look at cosmology, and satellite data indicates there could be parallel universes.
In yet another scenario, many parallel universes occupy the same space and time as our universe. But because they are in different dimensions, they are invisible. In yet another, all the laws of physics are different, so everything looks completely different.
New theories called string theories are giving us worlds of higher dimension. Quantum physics at the microscopic scale is also revealing to us the fact there could be parallel universes.
To keep things simple, physicists have divided parallel universes into different levels. Meet the level 1 parallel universe. According to physicists, the level 1 parallel universe is just an extension of our own universe.
Now that's the kind of universe which is really sort of part of our space, of our giant space, but it's so far away that we can't see it.
The level 1 parallel universe is based on the idea that the universe is infinite in size. If true, just by the sheer mathematical odds, there must be out there in endless space an exact copy of the solar system, the Earth, and all the people on it. If you're planning a trip, the closest level 1 parallel universe is really incredibly far away.
Truly speaking, you have to go Googleplex yards, where a Google is one with 100 zeros after it, and a Googleplex is one with a Google zeros. So it's an awfully long way, farther than we can see.
Those universes are so far away that light hasn't reached us.
But is our universe really infinite? A new theory called cosmic inflation suggests that it is.
We think that it was born in a very, very small state, and then there was a kind of a weird energy that pushed it apart by a tremendous amount. It just went whoosh.
Inflation accounts for how our universe suddenly and massively grew after its inception.
The best theory we have right now for what made space so big, the theory of inflation, says in fact that space isn't just big or huge, that it's really infinite. It goes on forever, which means that there aren't just 1, 2, 3, but infinitely many other regions of space, just as big as our universe. Even the universe that we know is mind-blowingly big. When we fly around in intergalactic space like this, every little blob you see here can contain a galaxy, which in turn might contain hundreds of billions of stars with solar systems around them and so on.
So there's just this enormous number of other spaces out there that we can't see.
And there is more.
We actually think that there's a gigantic number, perhaps even an infinite number, of level 1 universes.
This radical idea is leading to a completely new definition of the cosmos.
We used to say universe, uni meaning one, a one-world theory. Everything there is, everything we can see is the universe. But now we have a multiverse idea, where there are unseen worlds, worlds that we cannot see, worlds that we cannot touch.
If this wild theory is correct, the consequences are sensational.
Within this infinite universe, you might have other copies of the solar system, of planet Earth.
And this is the real shocker.
Then there's a copy of me and you and everyone else out there somewhere.
And that's not all. There are an infinite number of other universes and other Earths, and infinite copies of each one of us. If true, then every possible outcome for every life has to happen. In some universes, in what some now call the multiverse, one leads exactly the same life, but in others, things can be slightly different.
You didn't get that parking ticket that irked you so much. Or you unfortunately never met your wife.
Anything that is physically possible actually does occur in some other parallel universe.
It means that in one universe, Elvis Presley is still alive.
In a different number 1 universe, George W. Bush is baseball commissioner.
Or perhaps we don't exist at all in some of these universes. The implications are staggering.
And if the universe is infinite and there really are all these level 1 universes in the infinite multiverse, all those other possibilities did somewhere happen.
Technically, there are a couple of ways mathematically for the universe to be truly infinite. But essentially, it must be shown to be flat.
the universe seems to be perfectly flat, which means either the universe is flat or it's curved so slightly that we can't see it.
In this case, the universe would eventually curve back in on itself and form a hypersphere. It would then be finite in size and volume, and not flat and infinite. Another way to look at this is that the universe may have inflated so quickly and so enormously that it only looks flat.
Think of a bug walking on a gigantic balloon. The larger the balloon, the flatter things get. The bug walks in any direction, and the bug says, "Wow, the universe seems perfectly flat to me." But from a distance, you see that the bug is walking on a gigantic balloon.
But now an amazing new tool, the Wilkinson Microwave Anisotropy Probe, or WMAP, is changing everything. Some say the remarkable images reveal the true shape of the universe.
What we have here are baby pictures of the universe, what it looked like when it was only 400,000 years old. We're looking so far back in time that the galaxies hadn't even formed yet. We just had this dead, confused gas, which gradually over time clumped into galaxies, stars, planets.
The WMAP is catching the very earliest signs of creation. Officially, it is tasked with measuring radiation left over from the Big Bang. But now, some scientists have devised an experiment to calculate the overall shape of the universe.
If I send light rays through space and make a gigantic triangle, going from us here out to the farthest edges of what we can see, and then back, the angles of that triangle should add up to exactly 180 degrees.
If the universe is curved like a balloon, the angles of the giant triangle would add up to more than 180 degrees. To find out if the universe is flat or curved, they shot laser beams deep into space and made a giant light triangle.
Now we can tell. And the measurement is in, and the answer is it works beautifully. Angles add up to exactly 180 degrees. But the universe is flat.
The WMAP seems to show that the universe is flat. For some, however, the jury is still out on the flat universe question.
I tend to think that the universe is, in fact, a soap bubble of some sort, but it is bent so slightly that we can't see it.
Some experts say that there are other, even more mind-boggling kinds of parallel universes out there. A level 2 type parallel universe made up of giant cosmic soap bubbles that float in hyperspace. Each independent bubble has within it an entire universe. The question is, do we all really live in a giant cosmic bubble?
You know that age-old dilemma, where should we eat tonight? With the Urban Spoon app from the App Store, you can find restaurants nearby. Not tonight. Yeah, that sounds good. That's the iPhone, solving life's dilemmas, one app at a time.
Ah, there he is, the Geico Gecko. Why, hello, ladies. Did you know Geico's got special discounts for older drivers?
Excuse me?
I mean, you know, more experienced drivers. The Gecko's entering dangerous territory. Minnie, that's a gorgeous swear, isn't it?
Oh, thank you.
It's lovely. And Geico also has lifetime renewal guarantees and a live person who'll help you 24/7.
Wow. A live person? You never get a live person these days, never.
Well played.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Kate's texting us from her dinner with Jeff. He brought her flowers. Oh. He took her to Chez Francois. Nice. He went to Jared.
You'll find the perfect gift of gold for the woman you adore at Jared's. Because like her, only gold is treasured.
It's for you.
Do you have brothers?
Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry.
For 2 days only, take an extra $100 off at Joseph A. Bank. Start with handcrafted suits, $179. Then take an extra $100 off when you purchase $4.99 or more. How about all sweaters, 50% off? Plus, take an extra $100 off. Everything qualifies, and you get an extra $100 off. Tuesday and Wednesday only at Joseph A. Bank.
Looks like a sandwich with the taste of a prime rib dinner. Quizno's newest prime rib, only $3.99. Slow roasted and sliced thin with an extra layer of prime rib piled high. Real prime rib for $3.99, only at Quizno's. Quizno's.
People say I'm pretty obsessed with speed. Come to think of it, I like to do everything fast. When I started training for Beijing, I wanted to learn Chinese, so I got Rosetta Stone. They say it's the fastest way to learn a language, guaranteed. Fast. I like that.
Rosetta Stone is not boring memorization. It's a system that lets you learn a language naturally, the way your brain is wired to learn. And Rosetta Stone uses speech recognition to coach you on the correct pronunciation, which will get you speaking quicker than ever. Call now for more information and get a free demo CD, because when it comes to learning a new language, speed is everything.
And go.
Rosetta Stone, the fastest way to learn a language, guaranteed. Call now.
I told you guys, under a minute.
20 feet above me is Main Street, downtown LA. These tunnels are what's left of a world carved by corruption and organized crime. I'm Don Wildman, your guide to cities in the other world.
It was just about killing.
We ganged up and said we're not going to go down like that. Society pushed us to the lowest of the low. That's kind of like what they call little Vietnam. There's war out there.
Could our universe be just one mega bubble in a cosmic crowd of mega bubbles? If the sensational level 2 type parallel universe idea is right, then the true nature of the cosmos could be even more astonishing than ever imagined. The amazing concept is that in the instance of creation, our universe rapidly, suddenly, and massively inflated, creating a giant cosmic soap bubble. Our unique universe floats in a seething sea of other super bubbles, where bubbles can clash and spawn baby brother and sister universes.
It's happening all the time. Universes are inflating, popping out, and then blowing up to these huge sizes of universes.
The medium these level 2 bubbles are floating in is what some call the bulk, and others call hyperspace.
In this new paradigm, soap bubbles can form, reform, they can split. It's dynamic. Universes being created out of nothing, universes budding off other universes.
Altogether, these bubbles form the level 2 type parallel universe. And within it, there are an infinite number of level 1 type parallel universes.
The level 1 and level 2 universes are all in our same one space. There's only one space. And then there are these different regions which we call level 1 and level 2 parallel universes.
A flyby through the level 2 parallel universe, or what some also call the multiverse, would be a terrifying and spectacular experience.
A multiverse of universes, each one popping into existence, popping out of existence, perhaps colliding with each other.
Out of calamity comes existence.
What we call the level 2 multiverse is really best thought of as a tree or a fractal structure where you have a region of states expanding and crazy and sprouting off other regions which then expand and sprouting off other regions.
And other ones can bud off of that. So you can get this chaotic eternally branching set of universes budding off from their predecessors. An infinite set of universes in this multiverse.
The big term for this monumental process is bubble nucleation.
The bubble nucleation is the geek speak phrase for the process where you have this inflating, strange material, and then a little piece of it stops inflating and causes a bubble-shaped region expanding around it to also stop inflating. And then you create in this bubble a nice, calm region of space where you will eventually form galaxies, stars, planets, and even people like us. So we are the children of the bubble.
For the first time in human history, children of the bubble are peering out and seeing on the horizon parallel universes. Determined physicists believe they are now on the brink of uncovering the ultimate mysteries of the universe.
Why look for these parallel universes that we can't touch? Because they hold the secret of secrets. They hold the secret of the origin of everything there is. For the first time, we can imagine where our universe itself came from. Perhaps when our universe pops into existence, colliding with another parallel universe, perhaps budding from another universe, these are the stuff of modern research today, pre-Big Bang physics. Physics before Genesis.
But there is a problem. For decades, scientists have been searching for one cohesive theory of everything. One to unite Einstein's theory of general relativity, which explains how gravity works over large scales, with quantum physics, the science of the tiniest matter. Together, these two great theories explain everything humanity knows so far about the cosmos. But like a cartoon cat and mouse,
they are at war with one another.
These two theories hate each other.
They're completely inconsistent, incompatible. No way to understand, in today's world, a quantum version of general relativity.
How can we get a shotgun marriage between these two theories that don't like each other?
Bringing those together would give you a theory of everything in the sense that those are the ingredients you would need, I think, to understand the Big Bang, to understand the origin of the universe.
When in the 1980s, scientists came up with a lyrical-sounding idea, string theory, it promised to solve all the mysteries of the universe, including whether or not parallel universes are real. The idea is that all particles are not solid points or dots as science said they were. Instead, if you could see up close, particles are in fact tiny string-like objects that individually vibrate in various ways.
String theory starts out by taking the idea of a string which vibrates, giving rise to different particles, and doing physics with that. That's rather musical in a way. It's like using guitar and bass in a band to generate different notes from vibrations of strings.
As scientists explored string theory more closely, they made a remarkable discovery.
We found that it wasn't just strings that were involved in the physics, but also membranes and other extended objects which could vibrate. And that's rather like enlarging the band to have drums, another instrument, which enrich the sound and really broaden the repertoire of things that could be played.
String theory has now evolved into what is called M, or membrane theory.
So now we realize that the particles we see in nature, the universe itself, consists of vibrating membranes and vibrating strings.
The crowning achievement of M theory came when scientists realized that to make sense of everything, you need to think of the universe as existing in 11 dimensions.
If you're sitting on a mountaintop and you look down, you can see all the separate little villages that are not unified at all. But from a mountaintop, you look at a coherent, whole beautiful picture. And that's M-theory.
M-theory explains how the tiniest as well as the biggest things in the cosmos work. It also proposes that we all live on a giant and energetic membrane. Our universe is tethered to this wall by invisible extra dimensions. To make matters crazier, M-theory proposes that 6 or 7 of these dimensions, the extra ones we don't sense every day, are tiny and right in front of your nose.
At every point of any one of these people walking by, you pick a point. At that point, there will be an incredibly tiny, curled up, either 6 or 7 dimensions that you just don't perceive.
These membranes are also very close to each other.
You could have one of these membranes being a universe, and then moving sideways, you have another membrane being a separate universe, and they may be just a millimeter or 2 away.
The giant walls of energetic matter float side by side, like humongous sheaths in the bulk or in hyperspace. An entire universe may be attached to a brain, or a universe can occupy the whole of another one. Our own universe sits on the skin of one of these giant brains that in turn is adrift in the cosmic sea of space.
And it's floating around in a bigger structure called the bulk. Our three-dimensional universe is like a membrane floating around within this larger structure.
Believing that invisible extra dimensions that, like an umbilical cord, connect us to a hyper or bulk space where giant membranes live, demands a huge leap of faith. Where are these membranes that we're stuck to? And why can't we see these extra dimensions that connect us?
I'm floating around here on this kayak on the surface of the ocean. And you can think of this as a 2-dimensional surface. But below me, there's a whole other dimension. There's the down dimension where all the fish live. You can think of that as the bulk. I'm on a membrane floating around, and the bulk is the other dimension. The fish down below the surface of the water are in a different dimension than I am. They don't even know that I'm here unless I happen to splash around and hit one on the head or something like that. So they might be completely oblivious to my existence, and I could be oblivious to their existence because we're in different dimensions.
But can a fleeting thought send you into an extra dimension and onto a parallel universe?
Roswell has always been an amazing mystery.
But were there 2 crashes?
Well, at first I wasn't sure, but I started finding things.
Wow, that is really weird looking.
They told me if I showed anyone, I was in deep trouble.
UFO Hunters, tonight at 10, only on History.
It was just about killing.
We ganged up and said we're not going to go down like that.
Society pushed us to the lowest of the low.
That's kind of like what they call little Vietnam. There's a war out there.
You know that age-old dilemma, where should we eat tonight? With the Urban Spoon app from the App Store, you can find restaurants nearby. Not tonight. Yeah, that sounds good. That's the iPhone, solving life's dilemmas, one app at a time.
Man, orders are coming in from all over the country. I know. And thanks to FedEx Freight, we've been able to keep up.
You know, we should use FedEx Express to ship internationally.
Well, they fly more cargo around the world than anyone else.
Yeah, you should always use FedEx. Isn't that like a rule?
Yeah, well, there's always an exception that proves the rule, though. Like, my dad and my granddad were bald, but I still have a full head of hair.
FedEx, serving over 220 countries and territories.
Looks like a sandwich with the taste of a prime rib dinner. Quizno's newest prime rib, only $3.99. Slow roasted and sliced thin with an extra layer of prime rib piled high. Real prime rib for $3.99? Only at Quizno.